How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a Kashtira deck list for Master Duel. If you're sick of losing on ladder, if you're unsure what deck to play, I've got the perfect solution for you. I'll be playing this deck a bunch online and I'll be playing it a bunch doing the Challenger Cups, which have been happening over the last couple of weeks. And it's been pretty successful. So I've got a pretty clean, consistent list, which is a bit different from what you've been seeing online. This deck is not full power yet, nowhere near full power, so it's a really good investment to make. I do expect some like minor hits to it for balancing purposes, but I think the deck is like solid for an investment right now. So if you're looking to pick up a new deck or looking to stomp ladder, this is the perfect sort of deck to get you going. If you are new and you want to see more Master Duel content, Yu-Gi-Oh content, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Normally I do locals feature matches and some other like deck profiles here and there. Also check out my team, Team Shift. I'll leave a link to their channel below. They do very informative videos on Yu-Gi-Oh TCG. So if you're looking for more content, definitely check them out. And check out our sponsor, Zombie Games Cafe. I used Shift5 for 5% off their website. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so as you can see here, the standout card is Small World. This card is a fantastic card. I saw a little play in the TCG. So effectively what this card does, it lets you banish a card face down from your hand or your deck to add a monster from your deck that has a matching attack, defense, level, attribute, type, but only one of those characteristics, and lets it add it to your hand. So it technically is a neg 1, but it lets you see your engine. Plus we play loads of cool cards like the Kaijus. When I say cool, they're basically level 7, so you can bridge really easily in this deck. There's loads of cool lines you can do to get into a Lava Golem. You can turn a dead shifter in your hand into a unicorn. You can turn a Lava Golem into like an Ash Blossom or Maxi into a Fenrir or a unicorn. There's loads of cool interactions or bridges, should I say, with this card. So it allows you to enable to play, and it gives you a option to see a Kaiju, which is really good in the Master Duel meta right now, because it hits Pearly, which is really popular, especially here in Europe. People just love Pearly, so obviously Pearly ends on a Towers card. What I mean by Towers is a monster that's unaffected, that's really oppressive. Basically shuffles back or places to the bottom any resources you put on the board. So it's a really oppressive card, and you can just hard lose to it on the spot if you don't have an out to it. So I think this card is a perfect solution for the deck. Gives you a X-Pearly Noir out, as well as an engine piece. So yeah, really good card. And then we'll just go over the list in a little bit more detail. So Maxi, of course, funny card as people call it. Then we play the Maxi outs, which is the Ash, the Corby, the Cross out, and the Pseudo out, which is the Talents. Talents is insane in this deck. So I feel like a lot of games where I'm playing this deck, it's kind of like Fenrir Unicorn control. If you can accumulate like a decent hand size of like card advantage, you can normally like navigate your way through situations. Like you see here, Extravagances in the deck. You could probably max out on like Barons, max out on like BLS's, like the high impact cards, and just purely play like a big boss monster beatdown deck. But I'm playing a couple more options just to give me more flexibility in certain matchups and for certain game states. But Extravagance is good. I haven't had it conflict much with the deck, to be fair, or even with the extra deck. Pretty solid card. So yeah, Maxi, Ash, pretty standard. 3 Rise Hearts. So I think because of the lack of Kashtira monsters we have, or monsters in general for the deck, I think it's important to play 3. Plus, because of Small World, it lets us bridge into other cards. Especially if you open multiples with Small World now, this can turn into an Ash Blossom, a Lava Golem. So it's such an important card for this theme of deck. Shifter, another great card. It's just like an absolute blowout, especially with Dragon Link. I played quite a few Dragon Link on ladder and throughout the Challenger Cups, and just Shifter, yeah, pretty good card. Like I said, the Kaijus, we specifically play these ones because they are level 7s. And they have some stats that let us search into Lava Golem, see the defense of Radiance 25, Lava Golem is 25. The attack of Humongous is, I think, irrelevant, but I think is with it being like a level 7 and an Earth, it lets us bridge into like Maxi and Unicorn. So yeah, really good bridge targets, as well as the Ascendant of Thunder. I don't really summon this guy a whole lot. It is just a bridge, to be fair, in the main deck, but it comes up to extend the playthrough boards, especially because this card is legal in the game. We'll get onto this card in a second, but yeah, it's one of the win conditions, that's for sure. And then, of course, for the Kashtira engine, just 3 Unicorn, 2 Fenrir, 1 Ogre. I see some people playing more. I don't think you need more. It doesn't let you play. It's literally the trap card. But there's cool little combos you can do to sort of get the ball rolling, which, by the way, I've got a video coming out tomorrow, which will explain all the Kashtira combos, or not really explain them, but show you some gameplay that give you a gist of how to play the deck. And how to win games, basically. So stick around for that tomorrow. Just a little disclaimer. So yeah, 3 talents, 1 prosp, some more worlds, and of course Birth. Birth is a fantastic card. Sometimes in awkward hands where I just have a Unicorn, just go Unicorn, add back a Birth with like non-engine pass is sometimes enough to get you there, which sounds crazy, but sometimes in this deck you kind of play like the War of Attrition. Like Unicorn lets you sort of look your opponent's extra deck. You get to pick out key pieces, especially if someone's not prepared for this deck, although they should be. I think a lot of people should be playing 2 or 3 of the key extra deck cards just to play around Kashtira Unicorn, and especially Mind Hacker as well, which we'll get to in a minute. I think we'll probably expect to see people tech against this deck a lot more. And then, of course, Impermanence, really good card, especially in Master Duel, plays on talents, good going first and second, just all round really, really good card. And then, of course, the Preparations, which is actually insane for a couple of reasons. One is a pseudo engine piece. It lets you sort of grind through games a bit quicker, and it's very, very good against the Runic Naturia deck, which is really popular, as well as Labyrinth, which is also very popular. So really good cards. I wouldn't normally suggest on playing... Oops, I just took out an Ogre in the deck. I wouldn't normally suggest on playing this card in the TCG, but I think given the circumstances right now, I think the current Master Duel meta it sort of benefits you playing this card. So if we go into the extra deck, really standard to be fair. I'm not going to spend too much time on these cards except for 1 card, which I might go over a bit more detail, or maybe 2 cards actually. Baron, basically normal summon an Ash, make a level 10 synchro, pops a card, negates a card, and summons back a Fenrir during the standby phase. Big Eye basically takes a monster. Draco Sack outs a skill drain. Masher of Blades plays around Impermanence for a Zeus line. Flame Metal Dragon lets you kill your opponent, technically, or puts them on like a 1-turn timer. Basically, it burns them for 500 for every card they activate. And then what are the win conditions in the deck? Mind Hacker. This card is incredibly unfair. So when this deck pops off, it basically loops your opponent's extra deck, banishes cards off the top of the deck. So if you're not familiar with this card, 2 level 7s, detach the material, look at your opponent's extra deck. You get to banish one of those monsters, you choose by the way, face down, and then it has a bonus effect, which I won't go into too much detail. But basically, when a card is banished face down in your opponent's possession, you get to then banish cards off the top of the deck equal to what they have banished face down already. So say if you have typically when Rysart activate, they should have 3 banished face down. You activate Mind Hacker to banish 1 more. So you're essentially banishing 7 cards off the top of the deck plus 1 extra deck monster. So this then triggers on your opponent's turn if you have a Unicorn or a Fenrir. Or even an Ogre as well. It basically lets you, or even a Birth as well, it lets you just loop your opponent's deck. So it's, like I said, you're winning games a lot of time because of the War of Attrition, just looping all the resources, have these big boss monsters that come back every turn through Birth. It's just really oppressive, and when you throw in Shifter and stuff against the deck, this is why the deck's been so good for so long in the TCG. It's really oppressive. It's renowned for being inconsistent or like bricky. But thanks to Small World, I think I'm playing more games than I'm not. So I haven't done the exact math on it, but just trust me with it. I've played a lot of games. It's been working pretty well in my favour, so give it a go. And if you have any concerns or have any questions or bridges, leave them in a comment. Either myself or another viewer will happily answer your question. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Mind Hacker. And then for Dark Armed, this card is probably one of the better cards in the deck in terms of letting you play through really like intricate game states. So basically, if you don't know what it does, detach a material, target a card your opponent controls, destroy it, and then you have to banish a card from your graveyard. Note that you have to have a card in your graveyard to activate this effect. Also note that it's 2+ level 7 monsters. So if you have 3 level 7s, you can overlay them into this, which basically gives you a line to make a 4 material Zeus, which is really good, especially in the mirror match. So this card's really, really strong. Also note, it's not once per turn, so you can just break apart your opponent's board, leave on the 0 cards, and then while you have like a birth sitting there for follow-up. So yeah, really good card. Shangri-Era, I don't really summon this card a lot. I think when a Rise Heart comes out, that will change, but honestly, I barely play this card. You could probably cut it down to 1, but because of Extravagance, it's in here as 2. Zeus, say no more, very good card. Donna basically is a link to monsters of different types. You get to tribute a Fur Hire monster itself to clear your board, and then pop a card your opponent controls. Target and destroy it. Yeah, so destroys this card and then destroys the opponent's card. Yeah, I'm right in saying that. So it basically clears your board, pop a card, and then you get to play by summoning a Fenrir Unicorn. And then this card is the auto win against decks like Sky Striker, Labyrinth. Basically, it's 3 level 7 monsters, and then if it's summons using level 7 or higher, it cannot be destroyed and it cannot be targeted. And then if it were to destroy an opponent's monster in battle, it gains 1 of 3 very strong effects. 1, gain 1500. 2, it can attack twice. 3, banish a card on the field. So typically what you do, you attack once with it, gains 1500, and now you're sitting at your opponent's looking at a card that cannot be targeted, destroyed, 4500. That's going to just keep either gaining attack every time it destroys a monster, or just banishing a card on the field. Note that you can only activate 1 effect per turn, but a very, very good card. Worth the ultra rare dust, because it's generically a very good card anyway. But that is pretty much the deck. Like I said, I've got a gameplay video coming out tomorrow that sort of explains the deck and how it works. It'll be out in about 24 hours after this video, so if you want to see that, just to see some gameplay, pick up some sort of interactions with how the deck should be functioning, subscribe, I suppose. Like I said, check out my team and our sponsor. All the details will be in the description below. Check out my Twitter. I'm going to be playing some more Challenger Cups. They've been really fun. Also some Duel Links events might be coming up shortly as well as some TCG content, and maybe even some Lorcana content if you guys like that game that's popping off right now. Certainly subscribe, it would mean the world to me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.